We getting our FBI on. You know what I'm saying? We getting our murder mystery on.
Detective Watts. Detective McCardell.
Big detectives, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, you know, so we getting that in. So we got the murder of Zion Foster. We gonna see what that talking about. You know what I'm saying? So I've been seeing these going around, everybody been reacting to them, so I'm gonna go ahead and grab one. You know what I'm saying? Just see how it go. Y'all let me know if the boy guilty or not. You know, so whoever they got, we don't know yet. I ain't clicked the video, so I don't know. But we gonna find out. You ready to get into it?
Let's do it, man.
Let rock.
The last message that 17-year-old Zion Foster sent before she disappeared stated that she was on her way home. The teenager told her mother and boyfriend that she was going out that night with her favorite cousin, something that she did at least twice a month. But when her mother sought him out for help finding her the next day, the cousin delivered some surprising news. That he had not seen or spoken to Zion, he said, in years.
That sound right?
No, man, that's suspect.
Dang.
Your favorite cousin you don't
Your
speak to?
favorite cousin you told that? I know.
That's my favorite
I
cousin.
told my favorite cousin almost every other day.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, my favorite cousin.
I don't say names. I don't get
Nah, I ain't saying names. Everybody was I thought that was your favorite cousin.
all my people.
Hey, man. Hey, relax.
Relax.
Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to Just Thought Lounge.
What's up,
Today
kid?
we're taking a look at a missing persons turned murder case.
Ooh.
It's a story about a family and disturbing revelations about who you can trust.
Okay.
Let's take a look.
I feel like
That's a dope.
That's cold,
logo,
right?
right?
I rock with that.
Take note.
That's type tough.
Mother of 6, Sierra Milton, awoke on the 5th of January 2022 to find that her eldest, Zion Foster, had not returned home.
Hey, look at that shit.
How do you look like you from Dallas? I don't know. That's a new one. I'm like,
If you go to Dallas, bro,
okay.
it's a lot of women that look like it's a lot of women that look like
pretty young.
No, she's very she's
attractive woman.
She's beautiful.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I'm just saying you go to Dallas, it's a lot of
They look like that. I need to go to Dallas.
The night before. Zion was a 12th grader at East Detroit High School. She had only just celebrated her 17th birthday in November. Like most teenagers, Zion had experienced a rebellious streak. She had threatened to run away from home and had even done so
I did that. I threatened to run away from home. It didn't work the way it was supposed to, but it's tough though.
I played the fifth of my attempt to run away from home. I tried. I didn't get that far.
I didn't get out the door.
year before, twice. 16 years old and frustrated with her mother's rules, she had run to her grandmother's house. Convinced to return home, she remained for only a few days before leaving again. That time causing enough concern for Sierra to call the police. But it was another false alarm. The teenager was struggling with her granny's recent cancer diagnosis, as well as her own desire for independence.
Oh, that's tough.
That January morning was different. Zion had completed her serving shift at the Detroit Wing Company the night before. She had asked permission to leave the house after returning home from work. The teenager was honest about who she would be spending time with. Her favorite.
Everybody, bro, at one point, everybody's taking pictures like that. Everybody got a partner that took a picture just like that.
I am the partner. It's not funny.
Cousin, Jayla.
Oh, those are times in life.
Under these conditions, Sierra agreed and watched Zion walk out the door. That was shortly before 11 p.m. The next day, the 17-year-old's boyfriend, fellow high schooler Vertez Gonzalez, messaged Sierra. Had she heard from Zion? Because he could no longer reach her. The last text message that he received was at 12:59 a.m. It read, OMW, meaning on my way.
Nope.
But Zion didn't make it home. Calls to her phone went straight to voicemail. Messages sent throughout the night were not being received. Finally, at 8:53 a.m., he wrote to her, "Are you alive?" Followed by, "This is the worst thing ever."
Wait,
Adding to
if he asks, "Hey, are you alive?" and then this is the worst thing ever, she never responds.
That's a suspect. Isn't that kind of suspect for him to say that? Like, if it's just like a drive, I mean, it could be kids that when you say that's kind of being dramatic, I get that part, but as a detective
status,
you feel me? I'm thinking, what you know?
You know something, because
yeah,
you confirmed that she's not alive.
Because they already said like in the beginning, like this is a story. So I'm just if I'm gathering information, like I said, detective fact, you feel me? The glass thing just for show, I'm
really
don't want
putting the detective skills
feel
on.
me? So yeah, I'm just taking a note of that. The boyfriend said, "Are you alive?" And this is the worst thing ever. That's suspect.
Are you alive? Then
take note of that. I'm not saying he did it, but I'm saying suspect number one.
Boogie.
The distress over Zion's absence was the response Sierra received from her cousin, Jalen Brazier. Despite what her daughter had told her, Jalen responded that he had not been with Zion the night before. He asked Sierra exactly how often had Zion claimed that she was spending time with him. Once or twice a month, she said. He messaged her back in frustration. Zion's lies about him were sneaky as hell and not safe, he said. But why lie about spending time at his house? He suggested that she was likely spending time with someone who lived near to him. Zion shared location tracking on her phone with boyfriend Vertez. This tracking had placed her just across the street from Jalen's home at 11:24 p.m. the night before. Vertez, admittedly a bit insecure in their relationship, had taken a screenshot of his girlfriend's location at exactly that time.
That boy got the phone.
Jalen suggested that perhaps Zion was using him as a cover story when she was in fact at a neighbor's house. She must know someone else on the street or nearby. Jalen helpfully suggested that Sierra go to the police, but he requested to be kept out of it. Vertez was not as easily persuaded. He inundated Jalen with messages. He confronted the 23-year-old with the screenshot from his phone. In response, Jalen sent back a video of his Ring camera system. There were no entries showing Zion at the house, he said. She was never there. East Point police were not inclined to take Sierra's missing persons report with any sense of urgency. Her daughter had a history of being a runaway. According to the distressed mother, officers at the station did not mince words.
The person that's over it now specifically said to us that, I'm going to be honest with you, we're taking this as she's a runaway.
Receiving little support from law enforcement, she took matters into her own hands. With the assistance of family and friends, a search effort for Zion was launched in the following days. They posted flyers, held rallies, and spoke to the media.
We need your eyes. The police need your help.
That's right.
We need your help.
In the meantime, officers were eventually sent out to speak with Jalen Brazier. Jalen, Zion's self-professed favorite cousin, was in fact first cousins with her former stepfather. That is, he was cousins
Not really related then.
with Sierra's ex-husband.
That's why he's the favorite cousin.
At 23, he was a father to 2 young children, and he had a long-term partner, Katrina. Sierra believed that her daughter and Jalen had always been and remained close. According to Jalen, they hadn't spoken in years.
Like a 6-year difference?
They found him
17,
at home
23?
with girlfriend Katrina Smith.
How you doing? What's up? Mr. Brazier? Yes, sir. What's your name, man? Okay. You guys know Zion? Yes. So, they were saying...
Jalen invited the officers in to look around the house. He told them that he had last seen his cousin nearly a year before, in May 2021.
Oh, that's the case. You got a crib? 23?
You know what I find very interesting about it, though? If he was guilty, I don't think he would have let the police in the house. He's kind of being very cavalier about it.
I don't know. It's something that some suspects do though, because they think they got rid of all the
That's
evidence.
fact. That's fact.
Real clever type.
That's fact. Okay.
Jalen continued to explain that
they
it
be
was
real
Zion's
antsy
mother
like that.
and her
I'm not putting him on the list
boyfriend
yet. Maybe he's on there. Yeah,
I'm putting him on the
suspect
list.
too. I agree. Yeah,
You suspect them too, my boy.
He had offered to
Because
show...
that's your favorite cousin. You ain't talked to him in 6 years.
That's what she said. That was
No,
her.
they just said that's what he said too.
Oh, okay, never mind. I thought she
So
said.
Ty got the alibis together.
I thought Zion was like, "This is my favorite cousin." I didn't think he was like.
Nah, he said that he had to talk to her and you.
Yeah, I got that part.
Too.
I got that part. But as far as favorite cousin, if that's your favorite cousin, like I said, I told my favorite cousin a lot. So I don't know if everybody's different.
Or how are they favorite cousins?
Interesting. They're not really even related though.
They're not.
It might be
they're step cousins.
You get where I'm kind of going. They might not.
Alabama.
Yeah.
There was ring camera footage to Sierra as well. When she took a look at it, the mother thought that there were gaps in entries for footage for the night of January 4th, which had obviously been deleted.
Yep. I knew
never here. Her location, they say she in the house across the street. Outside, but she was never here. I don't know. But anyway, I can't remember to show her. She was never here.
Smart. Read the cameras.
East Point police found nothing suspicious in the search of the house. There were no indications that Zion had been there. They listened while Jalen explained his frustrations over being pulled into the drama caused by a 17-year-old cousin, with whom he rarely spends any time.
The times when I left is when I took her to work and we came back, went to get gas. Just basically showing this girl was never in my house. So and she's known to be a runaway. Like she's like 4 times, and every time she got something to do with the house.
He built his cover store.
A certain way, and it's making me so fucking uncomfortable.
She's known to be a runaway?
Yes, I would assume you guys would know that. Not saying like you're not their job, just assuming she would tell you the damn information.
Why would she tell you that?
No, we know.
Why are you being so abrasive though? If it's somebody missing,
just to hurry up and get on by.
Even if it's not your.
Jalen may have been fooling the East Point police at this stage, but not Sierra Milton. She did indeed watch to see who her daughter left with from the house, and she often greeted Jalen herself in the drive when he came by to collect her. She knew he was lying.
He told me he hadn't seen or been in contact with her for 3 years.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I'm gonna tell y'all one quick way to know somebody lying. When they start delivering unnecessary information,
that's true.
When they start delivering oversharing information or delivering unnecessary information,
they got something to hide.
They lying. They lying about something. It's a lie. It's a lie wiggled in there.
Which is impossible when you were in my driveway and gave me a hug.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? Right, $118.
No love for you, Deb.
Perhaps the easiest way to verify if Zion had been across the street from her cousin's house, as her location data suggested, was to check the neighbor's doorbell cameras.
They can't delete
At
that.
about 11:15 p.m. on January 4th, a white sedan, the car known to be driven by Jalen Brazier, was captured pulling into his drive.
Tell me.
Emerging from the vehicle were 2 individuals, clearly seen walking into the house.
Who was that?
1 male and 1 female.
You know what they gonna do? What I think they'll do? I think they'll take that camera and then take his camera footage
and see what's missing.
Because he already told them that he take his wife to work at a certain time. So they gonna look at the times that, you know what I mean?
See what's missing. Just piece it together.
Jalen had driven Katrina to work at just before 11 p.m. that night. She was on the midnight shift at a manufacturing job. The shift spanned from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m. The second individual who entered the house at 11:15 could not have been Katrina.
She had just got dropped off
Phone location data would later confirm the 2 individuals captured entering the home: Jalen Brazier and Zion Foster. The camera did not show Zion leaving. At 1:41 a.m., the same camera from across the street captured Jalen pulling his car out of the drive and then backing it in. The trunk then faced the backyard. After a few minutes, the car drove off.
Okay, so now the question is why?
Yeah, that's always a good one.
Like, what was your motive? What was your intent to...
I don't know, she was probably asking him for some money or...
She's 17.
My idea is either she's going to, like, rat on him because he's 23 now and they still doing the Alabama stuff, you know.
Incest.
Yeah. They're not
really
related.
They're not related, but That's statutory rape.
Yeah, it is.
She's a minor then.
Yeah. And they probably been doing it for a while, and it's like, oh,
she like, hey, leave your wife and be with me.
So you feel me? You know,
putting the muscle on you, type got her out of there.
Detective had.
It returned to the house less than 10 minutes later. Search warrants were obtained for the house and the car. Inside the house, the search was fruitless. The contents of the car were carefully itemized and examined, but there was no clear evidence indicating what had happened to Zion. That is, until law enforcement brought in the cadaver dogs. The dogs clearly indicated at the trunk of Jalen's car. On January 19th, the 23-year-old, accompanied by a friend who was a lawyer, voluntarily sat down with detectives. It was clear that he had lied about being with Zion on the night that she disappeared. Jalen came forward to offer what he claimed was a truthful version of events from that night. He had picked up Zion from her home and brought her back to his place. He put his 2 children, boys aged 1 and 2 years old, to bed, then joined Zion downstairs in the living room.
You guys mix up your weed, you roll up, you guys start smoking, you're just watching TV, just chilling?
Yeah, she's telling me about how her and mom, their relationship's a lot better than it was the last time she talked to us. And about her boyfriend, about prom, the job and everything, and how she's working on getting an apartment and everything.
Jalen said they smoked some marijuana, which appeared to make Zion very sleepy. He saw her head tilt back, as though she intended to take a nap while sitting upright on the couch. At that point, he went into the other room to pour himself a drink.
Now, you guys are just chilling, and that's all of a sudden she just blanks out right there?
When I got up to go get me something to drink,
yeah,
I came back and she was saying she was tired and everything, and she laid her head back. So okay, I'm let you go to sleep for a bit, whatever.
Okay.
And then about 15 to 20 minutes after that, I was like, okay, are you good? You ready to go home? And she wasn't responding or any of that.
Was her plan to go back home?
Jalen reported that...
Bro, do that make sense?
No, I'm sorry. It's crazy how you put yourself in this situation because you lied. Like you said, you gave too much information. Now you got to be back yourself.
You got to back it up.
Now you got to go back.
You got to cover lies with
and that's obviously a lie. To me, if I was an officer, I'd be like, no, go ahead, put these handcuffs on, bro.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
You ain't.
Because how does it make sense? Okay,
how
does it make sense? Number one, you got your cousin at your house at 11 o'clock at night while your wife at work.
And
red flag number one.
And your kids are upstairs.
Your kids upstairs. That's red number one. Number two, you smoking legal drugs with a minor.
That's two.
That's number two. Number three. How do she get sleepy? She wasn't sleepy on the way to us. She wasn't sleepy when you got her.
And I'm not even saying he drugged her.
I'm saying he drugged her. He laced her. He gave her some of that. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know.
He gave her some.
I've never indulged in such.
He gave her an air pocket of Zai.
Wow, sway.
It was laced though.
I think he
put something to drink.
I just think he did something he wasn't supposed to do.
Type Jeffrey Dahmer.
Type.
Not just without all the extracurricular with the booty action and stuff.
Zion's pulse was faint. Then he described her heartbeat as non-existent.
How do you know what the heartbeat was?
His young cousin had simply died on his couch, he said. Instead of contacting 911, he panicked. Not knowing how she died, he thought it would appear as though he had killed her.
Her heartbeat was very, very faint, and her breathing was like non-existent.
Number one, all I gotta say is the dude at the bottom is his lawyer.
Yeah.
He going to jail, bro. You going to jail if that's your lawyer, bro. You're going to jail, my dog.
Because he got snacks already.
Bro, you got chips. He tired. He don't have no paperwork, no nothing, bro. He's not paying no attention.
And if that's your lawyer, if he ain't tell you to shut up, that means you ain't got to kill
If he ain't helping you,
it sounds like you did it. So you ain't got no.
You're telling him
you
you
like,
killed
hey,
him.
man, this is my client. He ain't got nothing to say. He gonna give you this 2 words, and that's it.
You know what I'm saying? We can work out a deal.
Yeah, you would already be working on a deal, like acting on manslaughter or something like
sneezing
that.
and coughing and eating Cheetos and Doritos and
sodas and stuff. Yeah, he having a good time.
He like, chilling.
It's not like he's snitching. It looks like he about to tell on you himself.
He telling him to tell. Yeah, he over there, bro. You just go ahead, Just go ahead and tell him.
Let him leave, man.
I'm ready to go home.
He told me what he did. You all got some pizza back there?
Y'all got a free vending
Y'all
machine?
got Buffalo Wild Wings. Y'all make some orders. I need the snitch.
I smoked. All we had was weed, normal marijuana. So I freaked out. Like, okay, well, this looks terrible. This looks very bad. I didn't know what to do. So I took her. I put her into my trunk. And
you're.
I put her in my trunk. Okay. In my trunk. And I took her to my own park.
He's going. He's
just a lawyer. He's in
He's breathing hard.
Yeah. It has to be around 2020. I can tell.
Yeah, big COVID. They got the big screen in the middle.
Yeah.
Detectives queried how Jalen knew that Zion was dead.
Yeah.
According to his story, the 17-year-old had inexplicably, very abruptly, stopped breathing.
The head's back on the couch. Either she's still alive at that point. He's probably just high or whatever, from, the weed. And then you start shaking her. She doesn't wake up. You check her pulse, you said, and you can see she's not breathing, not like that. So at that point, what are you doing?
Freaking out.
Okay, so you're freaking out. And this whole time you've been home.
So at that point, we thought she was definitely dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, was she dead? You think she's dead at that point, or is she still?
Yeah, what kind of? This why you don't hire your partners as your lawyer, bro.
Yeah.
Why?
Between dead and alive, right? Was she dead?
He's making it worse.
She wasn't breathing, so I assumed that was the heartbeat.
Or is he a detective?
He's a
couldn't feel
That's his lawyer.
No, that's his lawyer. Yeah,
So
just said lawyer with them
So
subtitles.
she was dead, definitely.
Okay.
What kind of lawyer are you to ask some criminal questions?
You put her in a dumpster,
I
right?
don't want to mistake it, and I want to obviously.
You didn't take her to the hospital. You didn't call an ambulance. You didn't. I don't care if you freaking out at night, bro. Normal freakouts call 911.
Yeah, real talk.
Normal freakouts.
It just makes sense.
That's the easiest way to
We'd be
cover
like,
it.
oh, I had no idea.
Man, look, I'll be honest, we was smoking,
That's
and
it.
she passed
And
out.
then
I don't know what happened. I called y'all.
Yeah, let the people. You feel me? Let them.
I don't know what happened. I called y'all.
He's lying.
Cause you can't. You freaked out. So you mean you freaked out? You went and got in your car. You turned your car around, put it in the driveway, opened the trunk, went inside. And you still freaking out, and you dragging the body in the
Basically,
trunk.
that's called premeditation. So you knew what you were gonna do before.
Big premeditation because you laced it.
I don't think he did that.
How do you abruptly die on the couch after you hit the
If I'm
blunt?
being honest, he made that part of it. He just killed her.
I know. We just gonna go with his story. Though.
Okay.
We just gonna go with what we got right now. We just gonna go with what we got right
now.
now. To figure out how we gonna find out that later. But right now, with the evidence that's betrayed on the table, you feel me?
That's evidence.
Make that make sense.
It don't. That's what I'm saying. Like
she just out of nowhere died. She was healthy when she got there. She died on the couch after she hit the blunt.
Allegedly,
that you gave her.
Allegedly, of the amount of marijuana that has been indulged in somebody else's, not my personal experience, but somebody else's experience. It
was 20 minutes.
20 minutes. What?
They was in the house for 20
minutes. That's what he said.
Yeah, they was in the house for 20 minutes.
I don't know, brother. Go ahead.
Get out there and see if she's still there, then we need to recover her, and if not, then we need to do the steps to locate where she's at. Okay? You're okay with that?
Jalen led detectives to the dumpsters in Highland Park, where he claimed to have left Zion's body weeks before. Jalen told detectives that Zion had been at his home for roughly 2 hours before she died. This would have placed her time of death at just past 1 a.m. Cell phone records showed her device drop off the network at 1:15 a.m., corresponding to the time that she stopped responding to messages from Vertez. Jalen told detectives that he had
I'm just gonna put this out here first real quick because I'm already predicting what's going on. He raped that girl, and more likely he killed her when he was done. All right, I said it first.
not deleted any data from his device since the night of Zion's death.
Sounded bad.
They found, however, that he had conducted a full factory reset
if he
of
wasn't
his phone
already,
just
this
2
is when
days
he
later,
first did it.
effectively wiping everything held on his device. Nonetheless, the movements of his phone could be pieced together. This data placed Jalen at the dumpsters at Highland Park at 1:48 a.m. He claimed to have placed her in the dumpster to the right. There was no longer any sign of her there.
It was weeks before.
It's already open. Yes. Yes. Yes.
You get fingerprints out there.
Right by it? Right in front of it? I said right in front of it.
Did you back into it or did you pull forward?
Oh, good. They already got a handcuff.
Okay.
He said that my baby just died. And then that he threw her in a dumpster.
I'm with you, mama.
I'm sorry, she even gotta go through that.
Like
That's real tough. I ain't gonna hold you. That's heavy.
The worst ad ever.
Easy sounds in here.
I don't mean to laugh, that's crazy.
Welcome to Arcade. When Jalen sat down for a follow-up interview the next day,
Oh, he didn't
January
get arrested.
20th,
Okay.
inconsistencies began to emerge in his story.
You don't say.
He now claimed that the two had taken acid that night. It was her.
Where are all these miscellaneous drugs coming from, bro? First it was weed, now you taking acid, bro. What?
He better hope they don't find the body, because that's all the incriminating they need. That's all I'm gonna tell you.
Wait, his lawyer ain't with him.
No, but that.
Her response to the
he don't need no lawyer. He
psychedelics
did.
that
He need
must
to.
have
The
caused
lawyer
her heart
like,
to
bro,
stop.
okay, close, bro.
Of
I
course,
appreciate you
this
for $30,000.
explanation was about as
I
likely as his
appreciate that, but I
previous
needed that
assertion
return
that the
again.
marijuana had caused her death.
I needed that,
The
bro.
detective attempted to leverage these new claims to compel a confession. Perhaps Jalen would use the drugs as an excuse for his actions, for whatever steps he took to kill his younger cousin.
True.
I was trying psychedelics like acid, and
Okay.
I think that's what killed her.
Do you? Did you have like a freaking momentary, like, didn't know what you were doing moment?
No. She also she took a time herself.
Now, let me ask you this. The problem with those drugs are, when you're on them, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, that's the reason people take them, right?
But he already
Did you
said no,
do
you knew
something
what he was
when you
doing.
were, I mean, because again, I'm trying to figure this out.
Yeah,
It would
yeah,
make complete sense.
I mean, you know, you're not getting
When
out.
you
It's
dropped
done.
the
It's
acid,
cooked.
did you have?
But why is the
again,
next
I'm not saying
question?
it's okay.
Where
but-
is we can
I was also
put her away?
completely.
Well, that body probably gone already because this is weeks out.
I mean, it's still possible, but it's not gonna be easy for sure.
Positive, or I know it had to. It does a lot.
Take cadaver dog to the.
Yeah, it does a lot. And I'm gonna tell you right now, it makes sense to me now. It all makes sense to me. You understand that, right? Because I'm sitting here trying to figure out how this nice young guy Jay could ever hurt anybody. But it makes sense to me now.
He's trying to be a good cop. Not bad.
It's not you. It's not Jay at that point. You understand that, right?
Sympathetic.
If you did something under the influence, I would know that because that's a
Confession.
big difference, and I can understand that. That I can appreciate.
The detective failed to elicit a confession. Without this admission and without locating Zion, there was not enough evidence to proceed with an indictment
That's not
for
enough.
murder.
That's not.
No, 'cause they need solid
Jalen was
evidence.
placed under
Interesting.
You
arrest
take that
and
to trial
held in
then.
custody for one count of lying to police.
Damn, that's it.
He made the police
That's all.
actively deceiving them on the whereabouts of Zion Foster, the health and safety of Zion
What if
Foster.
he lied about putting in a dumpster?
They said his GPS said that he went to the park at
He
that
went
night.
to.
But the question is, did he go back home after the park? That would have been the next question. If he didn't go right back home or like somewhere to clean up or something like that, because it sounded like everything else was clean, except for the back, what's it called, the trunk. Yeah. So if he didn't go straight home, yeah, he has a possibility of having it somewhere else. But I think he definitely dumped her at the dumpster for right now, at least. From the information I'm getting.
I don't think he put it in a dumpster.
Okay.
I'm
You think he buried? No, if he buried, he would have had a dirt somewhere.
He cleaned everything.
I don't think he cleaned it, because if it was...
He cleaned everything, but he forgot the trunk.
I'm
telling you.
Do you think it's blood or...
No
blood?
No,
Okay, if it's
there's
no blood.
blood.
Okay, if there's no
he
blood,
didn't
it's a
slash.
possibility.
He didn't
Yeah,
cut her.
okay,
He was too smart to do that.
So you get
So
strangulation?
that's why he pulling a drug card, because
You think it's strangulation or something like that?
it could be.
Okay.
Type choked her,
That's
type beat her to death,
That's-
but didn't
that's
let her leak.
Yeah, okay, that's a possibility.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's a possibility.
in his interaction with her.
In June of that year, Jalen spoke with detectives again. This time, only the audio was recorded. At that time, he changed his story once more.
3 times.
Jalen recanted his claim that the two had taken acid that night.
4 times.
That
Damn, I
part
forgot.
was not true. Other smaller details of the story changed as well. He no longer described Zion as passed out on the couch. Now, she was on the floor. He said that he had felt pressured by police to offer more information, so he made up a more elaborate story to appease them.
Oh, no, this is
Well, I left that out about the LSD, but yeah, we both took a hit of LSD, and it must have hit her different, or hit her wrong. Did he say it bullshit? Or did he, see what I'm saying? He's telling me that. I'm trying to say, is he telling me bullshit that he didn't say, or did you?
Oh, no, that's why I feel, okay, I feel pressure to just throw something out there before I get out.
Garbage collection trucks working in Highland Park were tracked to specified areas in local landfills. The task of sorting through mounds of trash from all over the Detroit area and compiled over several weeks was a daunting undertaking.
I know it was.
An estimated 8-week project was launched. Dozens of volunteers, mostly wearing masks and hazmat suits and assisted by heavy machinery, picked through layer after layer of the landfill systematically, looking for any sign of Zion.
We expect phase 1
they
to take approximately 2 weeks.
It's a wrap.
But we're doing what's right for the right reasons, and we're going to do everything we possibly can to bring some degree of closure. It will never be complete closure, but some degree of closure and justice to this family.
Meanwhile, Jalen Brazier faced
Why
up
you
to
crying,
4 years
bro?
in prison for the lies he had told police. The Detroit Police Department, the
That's all
DPD,
they can
assisted
get
by
him
the FBI, continued to
He's
seek a
going crying
warrant
now,
for
but wait till
murder.
they find her body.
Jalen pled his case to the judge
You're gonna
at
be able
his
to get Twinkies on your
sentencing.
pillow.
One, I did turn myself in. Yes, I lied, but I was not in the right state of mind. There was no way for me to prepare for a situation like that.
Can't play insanity.
I was
This is
scared.
premeditated.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how she passed, what caused her to pass. I just know 1 minute she was cool, she was fine, she laid back for a minute. Next thing I know, she was dead. I don't know what caused it. I did not cause it or anything like that. I reacted stupidly off of fear and panic like I've never felt before in my life. Literally.
You think she dies?
One quick question. And this is just a question.
I'll walk with you, detective. Come on.
If I'm with you, God forbid, if I'm with him, and something happened to either one of us, you go panic automatically, but your thought is not to pick this boy up, pick the body up, put it in a trunk, and take it to a dumpster because you're scared. No way does that make sense, my boy.
I don't know how you're gonna even.
There's no way to wiggle your way out of there.
Because I'm even okay in the worst capabilities. If you're out, there's the only way I could think of is to try and get rid of the body. You probably did something you had no business doing, or you're guilty of something.
Why would the police? Why would they come to your house to get her in the ambulance and automatically think you killed her?
And you
What
can't
was you doing?
plead. I don't know. I could be wrong because I don't know law like that. But I don't believe you're able to plead insanity.
No, premeditated murder.
If you're already like premeditatedly, okay, I messed up. I got to clean up, and I got to go get my car, back the car up.
It's too premeditated.
You feel me? Okay.
Now you can plead insanity. Like that's how like some school shooters get off on with insanity.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was more of an emotional.
It's more of a split.
Yeah,
a split second decision.
Yeah.
It was like I'm gonna grab the gun and go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You dispose of the body. Just like that. That was your choice.
You have to think about that. Bro.
Did not know what to do. I sat for at least 10 minutes sitting there. Like, what do I do? Who do I call?
That's a long time.
My kids are upstairs. We just got into this place after struggling for like 2 years to get it, and everything is falling down.
I won't have any conversation in this book.
And I wish I could take it back. I would have called the ambulance, called her mom, because her mom's so sweet.
So you knew to call the ambulance.
I just knew.
You knew to call the ambulance. You knew to call the ambulance, dog. You knew to call the ambulance, bro.
I think he's crying more about his freedom than he is about the girl right now.
Yeah, his freedom is gone.
Yeah.
But he only faced 4 years.
That's still 4 years of...
I mean, yeah, 4 years of jail.
It's not even 4 years of jail. It's the fact that the surrounding of his case, more like the, you know...
Oh, they find that body.
Not even just a body. I'm talking about like...
Oh, it's like the build-up?
The build-up and just the media. And, you know, the more likely the guy going to have like one of the officers going to be, you know what he in here for, right?
No, they get that all before he can go to jail. They get your cards already.
You feel me?
So they know you coming.
Okay, so they know that...
Oh, yeah, they know he coming.
He ain't in here for lying to the police. He in here because he
in here because he's a suspect for murdering a little girl.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Man, I could take it back. Nobody been in this situation.
They ain't getting Twinkie. You're not getting the Twinkie. That boy getting straight blades.
Confirm this.
Yeah.
And everybody has some sort of peace right now. You know? But
Jalen Brazier was sentenced to 23 months in prison. Jalen's phone calls home to girlfriend Katrina and other family members were monitored closely while he was in custody. Occasionally, he would use another inmate's calling code to make his phone calls in a failed attempt to keep his conversations private.
It's a year.
He was also in possession of a prohibited cell phone, which he used to exchange thousands of messages with
He
Katrina.
can still get off early.
Repeatedly in his calls, Jalen would ask if anything major happened. This seemed to be a poorly concealed attempt to ask whether the massive search of the landfill had located anything or anyone.
The most logical and possible one, right? Is that there's nothing major or new, and due to that, there's a last effort to put together any types of anything. And that's basically the most logical thing that I came up statistically. So,
I do want you to know, keep your head up. Don't say nothing until you're not.
Baby, stop talking.
I know, I'm saying.
I know, I don't want you speak here on certain things.
She knows something.
She knows something.
She knows something that ain't right.
That makes it even worse.
She knows something ain't right.
It's like a family affair. What the hell?
She knows something ain't right.
Jalen's concerns over the search for Zion were telling. If his story was truthful and she had died abruptly from an unknown and nonviolent cause, then there would be every reason for him to want her found. Finding Zion would exonerate him. The quicker, the better.
That's facts.
Wishing her to be found should also be the sentiment of a loving cousin.
Of course.
Facts.
Curiously, over and over again, he expressed his relief that no major developments had occurred in the search. As the final days of the landfill project drew near, he referred to it as a search for COVID.
Yeah, just relax. Today is the first, tomorrow's the second. That's what, to stop the COVID thing in here. I'm searching for COVID, especially.
You think he's stupid? And she left. I hate people, man. The world is a very bad place.
The world is a crazy place.
You usually get up there 4 times. So, ain't nothing. Don't worry about nothing.
Jalen served just over 9 months before being granted early release. He had been placed in a special 90-day incarceration program. This boot camp is designed like a military program in which inmates convicted of certain crimes can better themselves while inside, and in turn, they are rewarded with early release. It had been nearly a year, and Zion had not been found.
I'm so sorry.
An indictment for murder had not been sought, and now the prime suspect returned to his home and his family.
Why is this man free?
So I'm trying to find out, Mama.
What? I can admit to this and still be let free.
Trying something different.
Jalen Brazier's freedom was short-lived. On the 13th of June, 2023, after a year-and-a-half investigation, the DPD were finally granted a warrant for arrest.
Get the 10 real quick. I'll verify your identity, your license, and all that. We have to figure out who you are, man. You got it on your license, man, you know? Yeah, I got it on that.
The 24-year-old would face charges of second-degree murder, as well as tampering with evidence.
Damn, they're gonna be
Upon his arrest for Zion's murder, 2 additional cell phones were taken. Despite the factory reset that he performed on his device,
If he deleted
investigators were able to retrieve some of the activity.
Yeah.
His search history had been held in cloud storage.
Idiot.
On January 7th, 3 days after dumping his cousin's body in a dumpster, Jalen performed a handful of Google searches. Are garbage trucks also compactors? What is the force of a garbage truck compactor? How do police get your phone history? And how do you know if police are watching you?
Are you stupid?
In addition to these incriminating searches,
I was going to say that.
investigators found that in the months before the incident, Jalen had performed a number of disturbingly suggestive searches for pornographic content containing the words cousin and step-cousin.
Oh, that's my own fault. I picked them.
Oh.
You told me two
I
words.
told you which one. I told you.
That's my
Well,
fault.
I told you mom.
The other one could have been.
But the other one wasn't this.
Okay.
It wasn't nowhere near this.
Oh man, this is. Oh, God.
Oh my gosh, bro.
I hate to be right on that situation.
Dang, bro, it's heavy.
Experts were able to retrieve the video results of these searches, some of which were reportedly very violent, as well as graphic in nature. As the case approached trial, a preliminary hearing offered more insight into the additional evidence that had emerged since Jalen's release. This hearing also may have offered Jalen's defense team a new theory. At the hearing, Vertez Gonzalez testified that he believed his girlfriend was taking regular medication for epilepsy. He told the court that Zion told him that she had seizures and that without her medication, they became more frequent and severe.
Didn't the mom know that?
In one instance, Vertez saw Zion become momentarily faint, slouching forward before regaining her composure after just a few seconds. This episode, he believed, could have been a seizure.
Have you ever seen her have a seizure?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. And while she was having a seizure, explain to me what happened.
Just like a little pass out. Like that's it. Like quick little tea. Like
And she was passed out. Was she foaming at the mouth or
no?
Okay. She was shaking uncontrollably?
No.
Okay. So she just passed out?
Yeah, just for a quick second, and she like get back straight.
Sierra Milton, whose youngest child was in fact diagnosed with such a condition, testified that this was not the case. Zion had never suffered a seizure. Hundreds of pages of medical records covering years of treatment appear to support Sierra's assertion. Nonetheless, Jalen Brazier's version of events was now being presented in a new light. Perhaps Zion's condition led to her death suddenly in his living room. Maybe she had a seizure.
Do y'all think she
Now, there are only two people who can say exactly what happened inside of the house that night. One of them is Zion, and she is gone. The other is the defendant, and you will hear that nearly every time he spoke about what happened, his story changed. And although he got rid of Zion's body, you will see that he left behind a trail of digital evidence that is damning and will show you that the circumstances all lead to one and only one explanation for why Zion left his house in the trunk of his car that night, and that's because he murdered her.
We all know a white dude that look like that.
She also had a history of seizures and taking seizure medication.
Damn, I hate that.
Now, on this particular day, she came over to Jalen's house.
It's a job. It's a job. It's not. It's a difficult.
Jalen told the police.
I'm not even worried. Why they chose him to be?
That she.
Why?
I'm looking for black people.
Shallow breathing.
Bro, he like
and
Ed
faint
Delano.
heartbeat. He checked her to see if
They
she was
gave him a
alive,
nice suit.
and she was dead.
I shot up.
He then feared.
Nah, bro.
because she
That
was
tie,
doing drugs.
that tie in the plaid
Still
throwing me off,
federally
gang.
illegal. That he
Like,
could be
why that
blamed
tie
for
so
something.
big on his
And he
neck,
can't.
bro?
Zion's phone disconnected from the network at 1:15 a.m. the same night that she disappeared, and was then lost with her. But the teenager's previous cell phone was safe at home. Sierra Milton handed this device over to police. On it, they found months of correspondence between her and her favorite cousin. The messages he sent ranged from subtle and unsettling to deeply inappropriate. At times, the messages were sexually explicit. Over 4,000 distinct texts were retrieved from Zion's old device. In them, Jalen routinely invited her over to his home while his girlfriend was away. He offered to put her up in his basement if she ran away from home. He also advised her on how she might evade police if she ran away once more. Wayne County Assistant Prosecutor Ryan Elsey described the texts as pervasive, at times complimentary of her intelligence and looks, at other times probing in an immature way. For example, he suggested to her that other people thought that they were a couple. He said Katrina, the mother of his children, was jealous of her. Isn't that crazy? Did that make sense to her? He then bragged to Zion about how easily he could get with women. At one point, he called himself a god. Prosecutor Elsey concluded by telling the jury that the 23-year-old had been grooming his younger cousin for years, that he fantasized about her, and that on January 4th, he must have acted on his impulses. This was the twisted motive that led to her death.
Hey, want to know how I got this $50,000 check for an accident I was involved in over 5 months ago?
Jurors heard about how Jalen learned that Katrina was pregnant with their third child on the day that he brought Zion to his house.
1 year old, 2
Messages
year old.
between the couple showed how he had lied to her about what he was doing after he dropped her off at work. Earlier that day, her nausea and hot spells had led to a trip to the emergency room. Hours later, the nausea resumed. She messaged repeatedly that she felt too ill to remain at work and asked him to pick her up. At 1:25 a.m., she wrote, "I think I need to come home." At 1:26, "I don't feel good." A few minutes later, "My stomach hurts. I feel sick and keep getting hot and cold." Jalen's response was simply, "You can make it, baby." He did finally pick her up that night at nearly 3 a.m. When he did so, she noticed a deep scratch across his collarbone. He told her that the cat had scratched him deep enough to draw blood. Odd, Katrina thought. The cat had never scratched that deep before. The trial lasted 2 full weeks in May 2024. Jalen chose not to testify. The state called 32 witnesses. The defense did not call any. The case against Jalen was largely circumstantial, though it was nonetheless compelling. A forensic anthropologist who reviewed Zion's medical history determined that the only condition that she suffered that could possibly have led to her death was asthma, though an asthma attack would present as the exact opposite of what her cousin described. Instead of quietly passing out and experiencing a faint heartbeat, Zion would have been struggling to breathe. It would have been very clear that she was in distress. Vertez repeated his testimony that Zion had told him that she suffered from seizures. He also admitted that his girlfriend was known to fib quite a bit. It seems that Zion had liked to tell stories.
When he brought her to his house late at night on January 4th of 2022, behind the back of his pregnant girlfriend, who was at work at the time, he brought Zion over to his house late that night, and she leaves that house in the trunk of his car on a night where he has an unexplained gash on his collarbone. What do you think happened inside that house that night? She died of COVID? She died of a seizure? There's a claim that he did all this. He did what he did because he was afraid of getting caught for marijuana, afraid of getting busted for pot. You can use your common sense. If you go to a marijuana dispensary, there's not going to be a team of ATF agents waiting to bust you and take you to federal prison for that. It's about the equivalent of a parking ticket. You ever heard of somebody getting rid of a body to avoid a parking ticket?
Vertez himself said Zion told him specifically she had a history of seizures. The question was
okay. Even though this is real deep, even though this is
stop.
heavy,
Stop.
this is
Stop. Stop. Leave him alone.
This is heavy.
No.
This is heavy.
Don't do it.
Listen,
then
bro.
leave it alone.
Listen,
if
no.
it's heavy, just leave it alone.
I can't. Listen. Whoever you at, Brian Brown, wherever you at, brother, all them ties and all them plaid shirts you got, bro, burn them. Burn them, bro.
That's not defamation. He's just
Burn
that's an
them,
opinion.
bro.
That's
Please,
his opinion.
bro,
That's
burn
his
them,
opinion.
bro. You doing too much up under that suit,
Brother,
gang.
I think you're doing the best you can with what you got.
Man, listen, burn them,
It's
bro.
a fit. I wouldn't wear it personally, but it's a fit.
Burn them, bro. Burn them. Go get a
I love
retwist
the,
and burn the shirts,
yeah,
bro.
I love the freeform. You're doing the freeform.
Nah, bro, nah. Go get a retwist, bro. God, Lee, how you gonna defend this, man? You looking like that, bro? Come on, bro.
Asked, were you concerned when you saw this? No, I was not concerned because I knew of a history of seizures she told me about and that she was on medication for it. And his understanding is that if she did not take the medication, the seizures would be that much worse.
Sierra Milton and the rest of Zion's family waited as the jury went into deliberations.
Just so many inconsistencies that, again, hopefully, the end point of this is that they will see those inconsistencies, see through the lies, and see the truth. That he murdered my daughter and he disposed of her with absolute disregard for her life.
The jury returned in only 30 minutes.
Damn.
Guilty.
Guilty.
He getting big life.
Ladies and gentlemen, please raise your right hand.
Jalen Brazier maintained his innocence of the murder at his sentencing hearing.
I know that the picture's already painted, of course, and once we get to have that right, it is what it is, but Zion was not in any way violent. That wasn't hurt at all. It said that I was never
It's
going
easy to say that body was
harsh. I mean, that's not smart, but it's
what I say is
easy to say that.
apologies were nothing, because you can't change her. But what I did.
Before announcing his decision on the length of term that Jalen would serve, Judge Donald Knapp outlined the convict's failure to accept any responsibility for the murder, for his disposal of Zion's body, for lying to police, and for causing so many delays in the investigation through his lies. The father had left his 2 young children alone in the house.
Yeah,
He
real talk, a
manipulated
1
and
and 2 year
lied
old.
to family, and ultimately, he acted alone.
He get about
It was unlikely, according to Judge Knapp,
I say 20
that he would ever be rehabilitated. Jalen Brazier was sentenced to 30 to 90 years in prison for the murder.
30 to 90 years, boy.
As a 24-year-old, yeah.
30 to 90 years, bro.
On good behavior, we're looking at about 20.
Nope, good behavior, you're looking at about 40.
40, really?
Yes, because they go drag him out to 90. They finna drag him all the way through that. He probably not gonna get probation till...
Think about 15 years he get probation. I mean, at
20
least
years. 20 years he might get.
Okay.
He might be up for parole.
Up for parole.
He might
That's
be
what I
up
look
for parole. He might get 30 on good behavior.
Yeah.
And another 5 to 10 years for tampering with evidence. These terms are to be served consecutively.
Ooh, he running for
My body was trembling.
That's life.
Man, when it was
Right,
red.
life 65 years.
I don't know why they don't do that
And
then.
it was just so matter of fact.
That would sound more dramatic.
I was so happy they saw. She was loved. She is
I'm
loved.
sorry.
She was fought for. And this is the result. So I'm happy.
She couldn't even bury herself.
I know, that's the only part I was thinking about over here.
This is justice.
And for Jalen, you thought you were smart. You tried to be slick. The people saw you for what you are. You ain't.
Damn.
I hope you never get out.
For you, he ain't getting out. He ain't getting out alive, at least.
Zion Foster's body has never been recovered. Over 70 volunteers and law enforcement searched the landfill for nearly 6 months before finally admitting defeat. As of the publication of this video, Jalen remains at an intake facility in Wayne County, awaiting his placement in a general population prison.
Ooh, that boy going to
Gin pop.
Thank Thank you for joining me to take a look at this tragic case. A special thank you to Bex in Wonderland for becoming the latest member of...
Alright, that's enough, man. You ain't plugging nothing else on here.
No more plugging. That was a very depressing case.
Man, that was tough. That was heavy. That was.
I feel like we did good with the detective part, though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like that was solid. That was solid. I think we have a future in that one.
You feel me? That was type was on that, man.
YouTube's favorite detectives.
Yeah, you feel me? Hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all these cases worked on. You feel me? Go ahead and tap in. You know what I'm saying?
I also do HVAC. All I can do is give opinions, so I can't touch nothing.
Hey, man. But look, man, that's it. That's a reference video. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to see some more videos or whatever with the whoop, y'all hit us up, comment down below. You know what I'm saying? Drop some links, whatever, whoop the whoop. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, that's it. And we out.
Thank you guys, man. Yeah. Be safe.